Hello students, welcome to BioWise with Aanchal. 3 units are done and today we have to do the 4th unit. Now before going into the 4th unit, I hope you are doing all the previous year's questions that are given in the description of all the units. It's not important to solve them because there are too many. You just have to go through them and analyze yourself whether you are able to solve them or not. So without wasting time, let's move to the next unit, human evolution. In this unit, we are going to study about evolution, its definition, theories related to evolution, and also for certain examples which supports these theories. At the same time, we are also going to study about the ancestors of human beings, how human has evolved. Right. So let us proceed with the first part of the lesson, that is evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is a slow and continuous process which takes millions of years, in which complex organisms are formed from the simpler ones. The definition is very simple. It has to be written the same way I have told you. So remember, evolution is defined as slow and continuous process where complex forms of life emerges from the simpler ones over millions of years. It's not a short time process. It's a continuous and a long process that happens. Fine. Now, based on the different studies, initial studies supported special creation, that God has sent us and the human are being formed or different species are being formed. But science had certain theories. We had people who talked about abiogenesis, that is life originated from the non-living substances. And then there were scientists who were with the theory of that life originated from living substances, that is biogenesis. In that case also there were scientists who worked on that life has been transported from different planet and has been imported on earth, right? So based on all the theories, selection and then rejection of the theory which was taken into consideration was first Lamarck. Now Lamarck, you should know the name of the scientist in this case. I hope in this entire syllabus of standard 10 to know the name of Mendel, that is Gregor Johann Mendel, the father of genetics, and here you need to know certain names related to evolution. So Lamarckian theory of evolution says that there is a arrival of the fittest. Like Lamarck explained the evolution of giraffes. According to him, when the giraffe started evolving, the vegetation which was present on the lower strata got over because they were, you know that they are vegetarians, right? They eat grass, herbivores. So the entire area, that lower vegetation was over because of continuous eating of the vegetation. Later on, slowly and steadily, they wanted to reach to a higher level of food. So they tend to extend their neck. So slowly and steadily, the neck got elongated. So Lamarck spoke about the evolution of giraffe, saying that slowly they have stretched their neck so that they can reach to the vegetation at higher strata. Similarly, Darwin also gave a different theory. He said that there already exists variation in the population. That is, there were giraffe of different neck size available in the population. Depending upon the condition of the environment, the variation which could survive those situations evolved, and finally we are left with the population of long necked giraffe. They were the two theories. So according to the theory of Lamarck gave us a theory that was called use and disuse theory. Okay, Lamarck gave us a theory. The name of the theory was use and disuse theory. According to him, the organism uses what it wants to use and adapt, makes it strong, and then slowly and steadily the thing which is not in use gets removed from our system. But this is not true. Example, vestigial organs, right? We have wisdom tooth, we have vermiform appendix. We are going to use wisdom tooth and vermiform appendix as an example for vestigial organ in the examination. Is that clear? So there are many other organs in our body which are actually of no use, but still they persist in our system. They were useful in our ancestors, but now they are not of use, but still they are found in our system. Like for example, in python, you have got remnants of the feet, the bone of the feet is there in the python skeleton, though they don't use it, right? Similarly, we also have appendix. What is the need of appendix in us? We don't eat raw meat right now. Our ancestors used to. So in that case it was important, but now it is just a problem. If it gets infected, we need to go and remove it. Now similarly, he also spoke about arrival of the fittest. These terms are important, children. When Lamarck spoke, he spoke about the arrival of the fittest. That is, slowly and steadily the organism will evolve to suit the environment, right? And this was also called the inheritance of acquired characters. Now if you just see a bodybuilder, a person who goes for building muscles, cannot pass that grown muscle trait to the baby. A bodybuilder cannot have a baby born who is a bodybuilder baby, correct? So we are not passing the trait which is acquired in our day-to-day life. But yes, if the trait has affected our gene, like mutations I said, they can be transferred. When in our lifetime, whatever characteristics we acquire cannot be transferred to the next generation, correct? So this is what Lamarck has spoken about, and he was rejected because the theories could not be proved. There was a scientist, August Winsman. He was working with the tail of the rat. He used to cut the tail of the rat, and every generation he expected that the rat tail will become shorter. That did not happen, right? Every time the rat was born with a normal tail. Even the parents of that rat had shorter tails. So that means acquired character inheritance was rejected. And Charles Darwin, you know who was Charles Darwin? The one who wrote Origin of Species. He worked on Galapagos Island, where he worked on finches, birds. Those were called Darwin finches now. So he worked on the theory of evolution and was widely accepted. He was the hero of the time when Mendel was working with the pea plant. That is why Mendel's work was not recognized much during that period of time. Right, now according to Darwin, he gave the theory of natural selection. According to him, there is survival of the fittest, not the arrival of the fittest. According to Darwin, there already exists a population with variations, right? Out of those variations, the one who is going to meet all the standards of being adapted to the environment will survive, and the others will perish, right? So the one who can adapt is the one who can survive. The organisms which cannot adapt to the change in the environmental conditions cannot survive, and I think that is only the reason why there are so many species getting extinct, right? Now he gave survival of the fittest. So these two words are very important. Lamarck, use and disuse theory, theory of arrival of the fittest or inheritance of acquired character, and Darwin gave the theory of natural selection and also survival of the fittest. Now when Darwin was working, he gave certain points. The first one was overproduction. That is, there is a tendency of production of many offsprings. In smaller animals it is seen, because for human beings and higher animals, they can take care of their babies. So they can change the environment according to the need of the baby. But for lower organisms like fishes and all, if you see, they lay millions of eggs. Out of millions of eggs, thousands will get fertilized, because you know they have external fertilization. Out of thousands of eggs fertilized, there will be hundreds or few hundreds which is going to hatch. And again in those few hundreds, there are very few who can actually make up to the reproductive stage of the fishes. So that is what he talked about, that the first point of Darwin was overproduction. After that he said that for every organism that was produced, there was a struggle of existence. In forest also, if you see, there are so many trees. There are trees which lie below the other bigger trees, and hence they do not receive enough of the sunlight, and even they compete for the nutrition present in the soil. So that is the reason why there was struggle of existence, and the one who competes and who can win, you can say, who can win in that situation, emerges out to be the one who survives. Then there are variations in the population. Each variation has some specific trait. Then which one is the most suitable trait, that organism is going to survive. So that is the survival of the fittest. And finally, the fit one is the chosen one. That is, the nature selects it and makes it a new organism maybe, and this was the basis of origin of new species. The process of origin of new species is called speciation. Okay, so this is all about the theories of evolution and evolution. Let us move ahead with certain important terms. Moving ahead, now we have already understood what is evolution, what is natural selection, what is speciation. Now vestigial are very important for your exams. Examples are asked in the exams. You should know that these are the things given in your syllabus, that is wisdom tooth, vermiform appendix and ear pinna. Now there are some special muscles which are attached to the ear pinna. The main function of ear pinna we have studied in our ear chapter also, that it helps in collecting the noise and putting it into our ear auditory canal. But we cannot move it, right? Like animals, they can move their ear to collect the sound. We cannot move it. So the original function of ear pinna is lost, right? So it's just an accessory organ for us, which does not serve the complete function. Moreover, there are certain muscles which are complete and present but are functionless, correct? So there is a vestigial organ here in our eye. In the corner you can find something called nictitating membrane. Nictitating membrane. That small pink flesh present in the corner of your eye, that is also of no use. Earlier it was there to serve as a flap in front of our eye. When suppose our millions years ago our ancestors were in water or what, that was there to help us to protect our eye. Now it's of no use, still it's present. That is again an example of a vestigial organ. Speciation is the process of origin of new species. Now the natural selection what Darwin gave, a very classic example that is generally asked in your exam is industrial melanism. Industrial is because of industrial revolution something might have happened. Melanism is dark. Melanism is dark, that is black. Okay, so industrial melanism, the organism which was studied here was peppered moth. Now peppered moth was of two varieties. One was light in color and the other one was dark in color. When there was no pollution or when there were no industries, the bark of the trees were supposed to be light. So if the bark of the trees were supposed to be light and you have those moth, okay, those moth, the light colored moth, they were not seen by their predators, the birds. So they were not picked up by the birds. But if they had any dark color ka moth, that was of different color, dark colored moths, they were easily noticed and were picked up by the birds. So the population of the light variety was maximum when there was no industries. But later on, when industrialization happened and there was too much of carbon soot and all deposited on the trunk of the trees, the dark one got camouflaged but the light ones could not. So now the predators started picking up the light variety. So the nature selected the dark one and the light population went on decreasing. So after the industrial revolution, the dark variety increased in population. This drastic change in the increase of population in the light varieties before industrialization or industrial revolution and the increase of population of dark varieties after industrial revolution is a classic example of survival of the fittest or the theory of natural selection. This is a very important topic to be asked in your examination. I hope it's clear. The name of the organism is asked. Its scientific name is Biston betuliaria. Learn the way of writing the scientific names. If the words are not underlined, no marks for the scientific names. So Biston, B capital, betuliaria, B lowercase character. Underline both the term. There is only one L, betuliaria. So Biston betuliaria. Correct spelling, first letter capital, the first alphabet of the first word is capital, the first alphabet is small. The same we follow with the Pisum sativum, that is the plant on which Mendel worked, right? P plant. Pisum P capital, sativum S lowercase, small. So Biston betuliaria. is a scientific name. You have to follow the rule for writing it. The common name is peppered moth. This is all with the evolution part, that is first part of the chapter. You should know the difference between the Lamarck theory and the Darwin's theory. The difference is in front of you. You can go through the same, take the screenshot if needed, and let us proceed with the next part, that is human evolution. The next topic is human evolution. Now when you talk about human evolution and we talk about our ancestors, you have to remember the names, because in exam they ask you to arrange the following in logical sequence, and they can also ask you between the difference between the two ancestors with, and also comparison with the modern man. So there are few characteristics that you must be thorough, not everything. What is bipedalism? That is walking on the twos. The absolute bipedalism, that is straight backbone and walking on 2 feet, started with the Neanderthal man, correct? Cranial capacity was maximum for Cro-Magnon man, and for us it is slightly lower, like we have around 1450 to 1600, but Cro-Magnon had the maximum cranial capacity of 1650 centimeter cube. Canine size, almost all our ancestors had short canine. Ramapithecus being the first one had sharper canines. Forehead was very small in our ancestors, and slowly and steadily the forehead sides became prominent. So with forehead, one more thing is important, is chin. The first prominent chin was observed in the Cro-Magnon man. Uske pehle there was no prominent chin. Chin is the symbol of evolution of human beings. So Cro-Magnon and then the Homo sapiens had chin. Rest all of them did not have chin. Then brow ridges, that is eyebrows. We have got the proper brow ridges, they are not protruding out. So we have a flat head that was missing in our ancestors. Okay. Then height. Generally the first ancestor of ours, that is Ramapithecus, had the height of around 3 feet, and it has gone up to 6 and 6.3 feet for human beings, not 6.5, they are too tall. 6.3 feet, that is for human beings. So always remember the height. Every time there is an increase in height, say 3 feet to 3.5 feet, then 3.5 feet to 4.5 feet, 4.5 to 5.5, 5.5 to 6, 5.5 to 6.3. Okay, that is in centimeters, you can also write. Then last part was posture. All our ancestors had got bent posture. They started walking straight from the Australopithecus, but Australopithecus had a lumbar curve. Lumbar curve means they are supposed to be bent, but they walked on twos, that is bipedalism, but with the bent structure. So absolutely erect walking started from Homo erectus. That is why the name is Homo erectus. Now the biggest problem with the human evolution chapter is how will you remember them in order. So always there is a mnemonics. Okay. What is the mnemonics? Rama's amazing horse. Rama's amazing horse erectus never comes second. Okay, never comes second. Okay, so this will tell you these are the second names, not Homo. Okay, so here Rama is what? Ramapithecus. Ramapithecus. Amazing Australopithecus. Australopithecus. Okay, Homo habilis. Homo habilis. Homo habilis. Remember children, these are all scientific names. So you are going to underline and write Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo erectus, then Neanderthal man, Neanderthal man. Next is Neanderthal man. Okay. Then you have Cro-Magnon. Cro-Magnon, they were smarter, huh? They had high cranial capacity as compared to us. And then there is the modern man, Homo sapiens. Current one is Homo sapiens sapien. After this will be Homo foetus. So still the process of evolution is going on. We are the current modern man, so called. So we have all kind of erect posture, good cranial capacity, 1450 centimeter cube. Cro-Magnon had around 1600 centimeter cube. So they had slightly extra cranial capacity, you can say. So you have to know the order, write in logical sequence. You should know, you can differentiate between all these on the basis of these characteristics. The table is in front of you. You can go through the table. This is very important for the exam point of view. Certain important PYQs is given in the description. Go through the same. Then see that you know these questions. Is that okay with human evolution? Any doubt, put it in the comment section. I have covered almost all the important topics related to the chapter and the unit, that is unit 4, human evolution. And there are few questions like which of these ancestors started the use of fire? Right, the use of fire started with the Neanderthal man. Okay, then domestication and agriculture and even using the leather of the animals to make hides and clothing, that all started by the Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man had the maximum cranial capacity. It had got a large head, and cave dwelling and all also started with the Cro-Magnon man. This is all important from this chapter. Certain PYQs are there which is given in the description. Go through the same. Let me know if you have any doubt in the comment section, children. Happy learning. Now only 2 units are left, that is unit 5, the population, and unit 6, pollution. After that you will have a test series. So be associated with BioWise with Aanchal. Happy learning and take a good care of yourself. Thank you.